Hey folks, and welcome back here to Flexline Productions as we bring you the conclusion of the 30th Annual City Automobile Championships. We're on our final 9 and our final round at the Admiral to determine who will be our champion. Once again, I am Dustin Mouret, joined by one of our top local pros, JC Rohe, to bring you the coverage.
Yeah, man, we've got a good card here. They've shot pretty well in the front 9. Matt killing it. Kevin, not so much, but Andrew and Dustin are looking to battle it out with him for possibly a second place finish. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, we have also Joel Freeman and Parker Welk on the chase card, kind of within a stroke with some of these guys for that top 3 position, so just worth noting.
Yeah, so we start with the back 9 with a par 3, 311 feet. The name of the game on this hole is to not leak left. You do not want to end up down in that slope. So if you do miss on this hole, you want it to be right.
Yeah, there is no actual OB on this hole, but if you go left, as JC was talking about, you basically are wasting a stroke just to get out. He just knew it right away.
He loves it out of the hand, skips up. Just past the basket.
Another CTP there. It's just, I think he just missed on this one too.
He's picking up right where he left off.
Again, it's worth noting M.A.D.G.A has only bogeyed once for the entire tournament so far at this point.
So I mentioned you wanted to miss right, but not necessarily that right. That's going to be pretty challenging for Andrew over there.
Yeah. That's your fault for not letting him know.
Yeah, it was. I was not clear.
Mm-hmm. And that is in danger of leaking left, maybe.
Just a little too high, but checks up nicely. That doesn't normally happen on this hole. Imagine he went with some kind of putter.
Yeah, that seemed like some type of slower and softer disc, so a little bit less ground action. This is distortion from Rosak here.
Getting a full rip on that one as he needs to with the overstable. Comes up a little short, but that should be manageable for him.
Yeah, most of these players definitely putting for birdie, but Marwede's in a tough spot here.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anybody actually have their lie. He's actually over by 18's basket, and so very challenging. Going to have to probably go over the top. But he definitely needs to make sure he doesn't push it too long. Gets great ground reaction and stays in the circle.
Yeah, he threw it so it would land plate down flat just to make sure it wouldn't roll. And yeah, lands in a good spot. Rosak, nice birdie putt there.
Cannon into the chains. And
he could be playing other sports than disc golf, that's for sure. Kiefer able to connect on birdie as well. Keep himself in that mix for the top 3. There's a chance for Marwede to save par here.
And that would be a great par save if he's able to connect on this putt.
And indeed, cans it. Really nicely done. Now all that's left to do is M.A.D.G.A just to kind of tap in this birdie real quick. As, again, he's kind of hit that point where, unless he really falls off the wagon, he should be walking home with a trophy here. So he's already won this event 6 times, so he'd be going for his 7th City Automobile Championship.
Moves us into hole 11, par 4, 464 feet. Pretty attackable. We did see Matt try to throw across in round 1, and he was able to do so. Most players are probably going to just pitch up and throw across the water on their second shot, taking the easy birdie.
Yeah, and I will say I tried to be the devil on M.A.D.G.A's shoulders to go for it, and he was like, absolutely not. And I was like, come on, man. You got such a big lead. Like, just go for it. He's like, no. I was like, he went for it the first round, didn't work out. He wasn't going to let it happen again.
Yeah, so Kevin got a higher speed in the hand. Definitely looking to get across on this.
Yeah, he is definitely going for eagle with his drive in hand. Needs it to get left.
Yes. Catches a little bit of the tree. And unfortunately gets the red flag from the spotter there. But he should have an easy approach for par. I believe he crossed in on the far side.
And yeah, Rosak just going for the more traditional layup play here.
Makes it a little right. Gets all the way to the middle, though.
We saw this play from Marwede as well in the first round, where he likes to play this forehand gap out left to get into the layup position. Again, he's known for his forehand game, so not too surprising to see it.
A little high, but hopefully not too overstable. Pushes it far enough, and perfect.
Great shot.
That will do. That is for sure. M.A.D.G.A hoping to achieve the same thing here. I think this is Warden in hand.
Very floaty shot, a lot of glide. A little inside and trickles down into the out of bounds. So he'll have an easy par putt from there, but definitely not what you want to do.
As Rosak does a good approach there to make sure he can get his bird.
And Kevin, with his lie, unfortunately not able to get across, but we do want to give a shout out to 2 players that did get the eagle on this hole for round 3. Joel Freeman on the chase card, and Silas Williams, a young gun from a semi-local area, Biloxi, Mississippi, both Innova sponsored.
Yep. And Silas Williams is definitely a name that you will see in the future. He's only 14, but already nearly 1,000 rated and doing really well in the Southeast region, the pro scene. Actually not accepting cash at this time, though. I think he's trying to aim for like a junior AM World or something like that.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
you can respect that.
Yep.
So Kevin with a par, Marwede and Rosak with birdies. Moving on to hole 12, par 3, 227 feet. I believe this is the shortest hole in the course. Really just requires a nice, easy flip-up putter play. Distance control is key here. You don't want to push it too long, but you do want to hit the gap.
Yeah, it's a very pretty kind of like turtleback green, I would call it.
Dustin going more of a flex play and catching that last tree that you need to miss. In years past, there was a big mound in front of the short tee right there that made this hole a little more challenging. With that gone, it definitely opens this up.
Looks like Marwede got caught up a little early there as well. I believe this is Harp from M.A.D.G.A. Something a little bit more stable so he can flex it through, and fortunately fights a little too early. And Harp as well here from Kiefer.
He leaks his a little inside as well, but fights through. That
Yeah.
should be pin high.
Yeah, he's got a birdie putt. I mean, not the greatest teeing performance from our lead card on this hole, but looks like Kiefer's going to get away with one.
Matt not letting off. Running that one, able to stay on top of the mound.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you now, 'cause I was caddying for him throughout this tournament, he was not checking scores, so he had no idea how big of a lead that he had, and so he was still kind of just playing his normal game plan because of it. This actually comes up a little bit later. He finally starts to kind of ask me about scores, but yeah, right now he's not aware of where he is. He knows he's ahead, but he just doesn't know by how much.
That's the best way to play it mentally. You're not worried about. You're not playing against other people. You're playing against yourself. As long as you have the skill to throw the shots, you just execute.
We saw Marwede trying to give that one a long bid, but we'll have to settle for par on this one, as the majority of the card will. But Kiefer does have a shot here for birdie.
Yeah, you can hear in the background. It's worth noting this is a public park. The course is shared with a splash pad and playground area, and you hear some kids in the background at a birthday party.
Yeah, there was a particular kid who had a particular whistle that he really liked. And so we heard it quite a lot here on this hole and on the next tee.
Yeah, so Kevin able to battle through that and connect for the birdie, capitalize on the lucky break through the trees. The rest of these guys will be clean up their pars. Now let's take a break from the action to shout out one of our sponsors, A&J Roofing and Construction Services, a local roofing contractor. A&J can get you the roof you want, shingle or metal, while exceeding building codes. Check them out for a free inspection. That'll move us into hole 13, par 3, 281 feet. You really want to have this fade out right after the initial cut. You do not want to be inside. The miss here is definitely left, if anything, as Kevin pushes a little long, but skips up perfectly.
Yeah, that was his Pioneer that he threw there, overstable 9 speed. I imagine this is like FX2 or something probably from Rosak.
Yeah, I would imagine so as well. Little inside sneaks inside of that one tree, almost catches a spectator. But he's in the circle.
Yep, and this might be like Raptor or something for Marwede.
Yeah, I know D.G.A. also has the Hellfire, which is pretty overstable fairway, but probably a Raptor.
This is M.A.D.G.A going with an Enforcer, so overstable distance driver. So kind of a few ticks up the speed line than some of the fairways you've seen the other players throw. But thrown well. Hits the CTP flag and the pole.
He's been flirting with those CTPs all around.
He just wants one, man. I mean, can't have them all, though, Matt. And yeah, again, that's just a range that Marwede is usually, like, dangerous. Yeah, exactly. Just this whole tournament, it feels like he's been slightly off from that range.
Dustin's canning a few putts in the last couple holes.
Absolutely.
Matt making a reference to the whistles in the background.
I'm talking about those whistles.
Yeah. There's like a tradition actually at USA at the Mitchell Center where the home crowd will ring their keys when the opponent's at the free throw line. So just got a little bonus info for you there as we get the hole 14.
Yeah, 14, arguably one of the hardest holes on the course. Par 4, 598 feet. A lot of players will be pulling down this right gap, trying to turn over a fairway or throwing a forehand. Some guys may try to push it long and get the longer flexy forehand gap.
I think this is mid from Kiefer.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good distance. I can see a mid playing well for him here.
Yeah, just don't get that ground action. Just kind of get into a lane and stay inside of it kind of deal.
So good, dude. Gosh. Sorry.
Again, some great camaraderie on this card, a lot of positive energy. Again, Kiefer really kind of feels that, but really everyone on this card was pretty positive. As this is M.A.D.G.A with an Orbit Grace. He likes to call it the tartar sauce. I can't even help but laugh. It's just Matt in a nutshell. What a tree kick.
Yeah, gets a great kick. He was looking to push it long, but he'll have that right gap to be able to throw a forehand through.
Not surprised to see a forehand on Mouret. Definitely can play on this hole.
Gets a little too overturned on that. He'll land by the short pad up there, which probably brings birdie out of question.
And if that didn't, that did.
Yeah, looking to get pretty aggressive there and trying to just battle it out with Kevin and Dustin. And it's a great roller out. Unfortunately, gets caught up by a tree there. So he'll try to get up and down for bogey now.
Yeah, just a little bit pulled left there from Rosak, so he'll get caught up. And so, again, this is one of the more difficult holes on the back nine, so it definitely has some teeth to it.
Yeah, it requires 2 really good shots to get the birdie.
That was Pioneer from Kiefer, and everyone just is kind of over-flexing their shots and pulling it left. See if M.A.D.G.A can correct, as I think this is his enforcer again.
Yeah, he needs to put this out right and a little higher. Gets a great kick, though. And that'll be a look for birdie.
Yep. And he's already got quite the lead, but if you can add to it, might as well. Great shot from Marwede there to at least salvage something on this hole after a couple of tough shots.
Yeah, so Justin will have a similar shot to the one he had, maybe a touch slower on the disc.
It's like he's still going fairway. He had 8-2 in the hand, but decides to go with the fairway driver instead. Maybe just looking to try to skip up there.
And almost catching a spectator there on the left side of the fairway, pushing it a little too left. I believe that was an OGH1 out of him.
Kiefer kind of in no man's land right here.
And just needs to pick a gap and not try to do too much. Fortunately, catches a tree.
At least was able to have a lane to approach the basket from there, but he's just kind of bleeding strokes. And I mean, it doesn't really matter anymore for the race to the lead, but it does very much matter for a fight for the top three taking place right now between the other three players in this lead card and the chase card. Matt likes it and gets it. Oh, man, we know he can be dangerous from that range, and he's usually pretty good about knowing if he got it or not by those extra few steps after the putt leaves his hand.
And yeah, Justin's lie is pretty tucked in there. Should be a pretty difficult putt.
Honestly, not a bad bid considering what he was dealing with.
Yeah, he was unable to get, he definitely has a spin putt and was unable to get that full on power. So Matt with the bird. The rest of these guys are taking bogey, I believe.
Yep.
So still a battle for the other three guys as Matt is just pulling away. As we move on to hole 15, par 4, pretty standard John Houck design with two gaps. You either have the backhand or forehand. You want to lay it up to this position right here to have either a backhand or forehand on your approach shot. Pretty standard hole, don't have to do too much, maybe two mids. You can bite off more, but it's not necessary to get the birdie.
Yeah, Matt just looking to play the backhand up the right side with a trust. It's kind of a stable mid-range.
It looked like he was trusting that to hyzer out, and it didn't quite finish.
Been there before.
Right.
But it should be pretty easy to get through right there, at least to save the par.
So good from Kiefer, indeed. Look at this shot.
Yeah, if he misses those two trees, he's got a chip shot forehand to the basket, but being pushed up on that second clump of trees, it's going to be pretty difficult to get up and down from there.
It's a classic line. Now you want to be overstable.
Yeah.
Now. Still puts himself in a lane, though, where he can still, try to get up and down for birdie.
Yeah, he should have an easy backhand from there, maybe just a little longer than he wanted.
Just gets caught up there right at the end of the flight.
Right. That was only the most. Oh my lord.
That's Kiefer in the
That's
background,
how Kiefer
complimenting
likes
Rosak. Yeah, I mean, again, just such a positive energy on the card. Just flexing that distortion down there.
Didn't quite get the flex that he wanted. I believe Kevin thought it was going to flex out.
Very awkward situation there for Marwede. Like, the footing was certainly less than ideal.
Yeah, you got to respect the athleticism to be able to step around a tree to hit his lie.
And this is Matt throwing his second shot. I think he's throwing a felon here, just trying to see if he can, salvage something. Just catches a tree as it was fading back into the fairway.
Yeah, the forehand gap on the second shot is a lot tighter than the backhand. And especially from that angle, you really have to get the disc on a perfect line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tough position for Marwede. He just has to try to make a miracle happen, and not bad at all from where he was. This is finally Kiefer throwing his second shot.
And just a little high, but that'll be a longer circle 2 look.
Mm-hmm. This is Matt just pitching up for his par. And I got to tell you a funny story. At this point, after he threw the shot, he looks at me. He's like, am I still okay? Like, lead-wise? And I was like, are you serious? It's like, do you not understand that you're like 8, 9 strokes clear of second place? He's like, that was the first time he knew.
And Kevin definitely knows where the score position is right now. Upset about that miss. He's been connecting on those all weekend.
And Rosak comes up a touch low there for his birdie bid, so we'll have to settle for par as well.
And this will be Marwede for a long par look.
And that's more of the Marwede you're used to seeing, striking from range. Had a tough hole here, let's be honest. He had a tough trail he had to travel down, but he gets it done.
Yeah, acrobatic step, overhand.
He pulled out all the stops on this one, that's for sure.
And now a word from our sponsors. Saraland Pharmacy and Disc Golf Store can provide you everything you need to enhance your game. Check out their wide variety of discs and disc golf accessories in store. New products are also posted regularly on their Facebook page. All right, guys, we move into hole 16, par 3, probably the easiest hole on the back 9. Just a dead straight putter shot. You're trying to hyzer flip a putter up there, miss all the trees to the right of the basket, and just slide up to the pin.
Yeah, as you said, kind of the main thing is just trying to avoid those trees on the right-hand side. This is, I believe, a Warden out of M.A.D.G.A.
Makes it towards that cluster of trees. Kind of kicks off. Probably takes birdie out of question here. Definitely one he wants to get, but as you said, he now knows where he's at lead-wise, and can probably take the foot off the pedal a little bit here.
And that was actually chase car the next hole, as it kind of runs parallel to 17 and 18.
Kevin flirting with that right side, catches a tree. Another circle 2 look for him. He'll need to connect on some of these to keep his podium finish alive.
Yeah, again, worth noting that Parker Welk and Joel Freeman on the chase card playing a good round, so they are certainly, you know, kind of fighting these guys on the bottom of the lead card for top 3 spots. As Rosak throws a great shot. So a lot of players catching that right-hand side, which is kind of the miss that you see most often, if there is one.
Oh, man, he has been all over the basket from everywhere. Getting a few to connect, but it's got to be pretty aggravating for him.
Yeah. M.A.D.G.A, I can tell you didn't have much of a look from where he was. He had to kind of hyzer it around the tree, and there was just really no way to get that one. That's really the first time you've seen Kevin like get truly, you know, frustrated. Again, a very positive dude.
Yeah, you understand what's on the line. You're going to the last 3 holes. This is one you definitely have to get down the stretch.
Especially when you feel like you kind of got away with the tee shot and it puts you in position to still grab birdie, and then you still miss, and it can definitely be frustrating. I totally get it.
probably need a new putter after that one, though.
Luckily, he always kind of carries two, so one's ready to go. And able to save the par at least. Adio for his par save. We had a pretty good gallery kind of with this all day for this final lead card.
As we move on to hole 17, par 4, 676 feet. You've got two gaps off the tee as well on this one. You can either throw hyzer or dead straight, trying to land in this position right here. Then you pick a gap through these pines and try to slide it up to the green, which plays a little downhill, requires a little bit of distance control, and it's pretty fast with the sand.
Yeah, this hole's one tough cookie. Even with the good drive, it's very tough to get up and down, just with that horizontal line of trees that kind of guards the green kind of midway up the fairway.
Yeah, and Dustin plays that left gap great. Slight flex, definitely finishes it out left. He should have a straight-on approach to the green. Matt here opting for the hyzer play, it seems.
He was trying to play more conservative, just a fairway driver up there, kind of just trying to maintain his position, not looking to get too crazy, and does exactly what he wanted.
Kevin looking to bite off a little more off the tee. Really trying to put a move on this one. That can get dangerous, though.
I mean, that is a beauty of a shot.
Butter.
So well done from Kiefer there.
Yeah, you don't see many drives up to those pine trees.
And it's worth noting that because the gaps are so skinny in that line of trees, being able to get that close, makes the gap so much easier to hit to approach the green. Yes, unfortunately, Andrew once again gets caught up off the tee.
Yeah, he's a little left side. He could have the power to get down there for a long look with just a step out forehand, but probably just conceding the par here.
Yeah, not a bad shot at all. I mean, it hit a tree, but I mean, considering where he was, that was still a satisfactory result, I'd imagine.
Yeah, getting past the pines is pretty much ideal from there.
And it feels like Rosak kind of knew right away he didn't quite get the timing right on that.
Right. From there, you either commit to the left side of those three pines or the right, and look, he wasn't quite committed. Matt, though, definitely
right up the
committed.
gut.
Let's go.
And I mean, he may have been trying to play the whole conservatively, but he got a lot more than he expected, I think, with that shot.
Let's go, baby.
Spectators loving it.
That was a little bit of me as a caddy loving it. It's all right.
Oh, I meant the cheering, but
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
just you.
I mean, I was probably the loudest one that you heard there. I also totally failed the fist bump. I only got like half my fist on his, so I give myself a 5 out of 10 really the whole way there as a caddy.
Justin's a little pinched off over there. That's going to be a tough par from there. That's a long putt. Kevin pushed a little long on his as well. Andrew able to sneak through the little cluster of trees there. That should be a tap-in par for him.
This is Rosak trying to get up and down for his par. Maybe even give it a chance.
And that'll be a bogey for him. So this would be a solid birdie for Kevin here. He definitely needs to hit this putt.
And that's the second disc taco of the day for him. And again, he just kind of realizes he was at one point, just 4 strokes behind Matt in second place. And now all of a sudden a top 3 finish is starting to slip through his fingers. That's a great scramble from Marwede on this hole to save par yet again.
Little trick shot from Kevin there, the upside down putt. And Matt here for yet another birdie. He's absolutely shredding this course. As we move on to hole 18, par 5, 894 feet, the longest hole in the course. Most players are trying to throw a fairway, maybe a distance driver through the right gap and push as far as they can. If they leak off left, you'll find going through this gap. You really don't have to get around the corner on your second shot. It sets up for an approach to this green for a probably 300 foot, maybe 250 mid-range shot.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a tough par 5 in the tournament with, and they actually had a star frame the first round with their feature car, which is crazy because that just rarely does that ever happen. And Matt hits really early left with his Maverick. And again, he walked up to me after that tee shot and said, "Am I still okay?" And I was like, "Yes, Matt, you're still fine. Just go out there and finish the hole off, buddy." But, he holds himself to a high standard, and it's understandable that, when he makes a mistake like that, that he wants to, check up on him, things.
You and I both.
Also early left for Kevin, but he kicks off to the right there in the rough.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because there's like a trail on the other side of that rough, which
Right.
is open, but I still don't know what he's going to have to get back to the fairway from there. As that is laced by Marwede, but maybe turning too much?
Yeah, just a little right it seems.
Oh, man. Nearly what he wanted. Rosak, you're our last hope.
And that's going to leak left. As I mentioned, there's still a gap over there, throwing over the shorter pad on this hole. So hopefully he found himself in a decent position.
This is Matt with an Orbit Grace to Tatar Sauce on a Sky Anheuser forehand.
You got some strokes to play with here, so, maybe dial in some cool shots for the spectators. This looks like trouble for Kevin and doesn't quite get the disc on the gap that he wanted. Kind of leaks out of his hand left. But putting an absolute move on this one.
That is, a brilliant shot from where he was positioned. It doesn't get better than that, really. This is where Matt ended up.
Yeah,
And he's trying to finesse something.
Going back to Kevin's shot, he'll have a chance to save par from where he was at.
Yep.
Matt technically can save par as well, I think, if he gets up and down from that shot he just threw.
Great kiss from Andrew there. Like, he does not want to leak right, so fortunate enough to tap out and stay in the middle of the fairway.
Great second shot from Rosak. Oh, my.
Playing that left side to perfection there, getting all the way around the corner.
And so Matt would have to get up and down from here to save par. And remember, he's only bogeyed once so far this entire tournament. And that is a rive. Oh my goodness, dude.
The camera does not do that justice. That was an impressive shot to get around the corner like that.
I'm going to guess well over 400 feet, right?
Easy,
yeah.
easy 400.
And that was his Julio Jones orbit rive. And so he said first down Julio after he threw that. Because of course he did.
As Andrew kind of leaks inside a little bit. Okay, I was mistaken. I thought Kevin pushed it a little further, but so par save is probably out of the question here, unless he does something miraculous.
I still can't believe the shot that Matt just threw.
Yes.
And I was there. And
I watched that come in from the basket, and I was just like, surely that's not for eagle. That's a great forward progress off that tree.
it's still going. How?
Still going.
all in the wrist.
Okay, I'll remember that.
That's a super sneaky route there from Andrew, able to find a great gap to get up and down.
And that's Rosak getting up and down for a chance to put in the birdie to finish this tournament. So really nice way to conclude his event. As you can see the gallery building up here for the final moments.
Yeah, Kevin just pitches up. That'll unfortunately be a bogey for him. This is for birdie for Andrew. Maybe par.
Par is correct, yes. Will probably feel like one after some of the positions he got stuck in. As this is M.A.D.G.A for the par save. And the win. One bogey the whole tournament, JC.
And it was the first round.
And it was 2 rounds here where there's so much danger.
As you hear spectator in the background yelling 7-time.
Yep. He will be our 7-time comp champion.
All right, y'all give it up for your 30th annual 7-time City of Mobile champion, M.A.D.G.A.
Everybody showed up, saving, West Side.
Thank you.
Family. Everybody showed up again.
Making Dustin blush on camera.
Yeah. That's me rolling the stroller.
Julio for
And then Julio for giving the par save. There you go. All right. I mean, that's Matt in a nutshell right there. It's, that's going to do it for our 30th Annual City of Mobile Championships out here in Mobile and Semmes. You see M.A.D.G.A there getting the dub. Another 11 under round, bogey-free to end this tournament. Kiefer had a bit of a tough one. Unfortunately, kind of slips down the leaderboard, but Justin Rosak finishes with a top 5 finish. Marwede and Kiefer tie for 6th, and we did have Parker Walk and Joel Freeman jump up onto the podium, as well as Clint Calvin in that 3rd place position next to Joel. So, yeah, we appreciate all of you for tuning in. We hope that you'll follow, subscribe for future coverage, and again, a big shout out to all of our sponsors. Once again, I'm Dustin Mouret, and JC, it was a pleasure doing this coverage with you, man.
Always.